裁员还要抢名额。
Layoffs that require vying for spots? Yes, you heard that right. Recently, during GAC Honda's layoff process, the initial batch of layoff spots was snapped up quickly. According to informed sources, the company initially offered 900 spots for voluntary resignation, and the response was unexpectedly enthusiastic, prompting the company to open more spots. So far, 2,300 employees have chosen to leave. The reason for this enthusiasm is the company's compensation package of N+2+1, which is even more generous than Tesla's previous N+3 package. It must be said that this foreign company is indeed very compliant with laws and regulations. In contrast, many domestic companies force employees to resign by means of unpaid leave, pay cuts, or job transfers without considering compensation. If it were you, would you scramble to be laid off?
那么大还第一次听说员工排着队求老板辞退。
It's the first time in my life that I've seen employees lining up to be laid off. GAC Honda recently began implementing its layoff plan on May 8th, which will affect 1,700 employees. In the past, hearing about layoffs would definitely stir mixed emotions, but this time, GAC Honda's employees are leaving with great dignity. The reason is simple: the compensation is exceptionally generous. The company's compensation package is N+2+1, which is even higher than Tesla's N+3. For a regular employee with a monthly salary of 9,000 yuan, the compensation can amount to over 100,000 yuan, let alone those senior designers with monthly salaries of tens of thousands of yuan. With such a compensation plan, they can easily receive hundreds of thousands of yuan and retire early. This situation reminds me of Mitsubishi's actions when it exited the Chinese market. Knowing it could no longer operate in China, Mitsubishi borrowed 900 million yuan from GAC for employee compensation. In addition, it provided a 10-year supply of spare parts to ensure that car owners' after-sales rights were protected. In contrast, some domestic car companies that went bankrupt saw their employees struggling to get their salaries, even having to confront the top bosses. There are also instances where bosses simply take the money and move abroad, leaving a mess behind. Some domestic companies, even if still operating, have numerous issues. Not to mention the notorious 996 and 007 work schedules. Many companies don't even follow basic labor laws, failing to pay social security, not signing contracts, and having bizarre rules like requiring permission to go to the restroom. We often complain about foreign companies bullying us, but in reality, it's often our own people who mistreat us. In practice, most foreign companies do follow the rules and respect the bottom line. Even Elon Musk once publicly urged the executives at Tesla's Shanghai Gigafactory to treat their compatriots well. Isn't it ironic that a foreigner has to remind us to treat our own people better?
Actually, Guangxi's employees are not voluntarily rushing to leave. Instead, the situation has changed, and they have to start planning for the future. What does this mean? This situation actually began in May this year. On May 15, GAC Honda started recruiting voluntary resignations, targeting factory production workers. At that time, over 1,700 people signed up, accounting for 14% of the joint venture's total number of employees. Later, perhaps because GAC's compensation package was too generous, more employees signed up. As of these past few days, the company has released its future layoff plan, expanding the number to 2,300. It must be said that the benefits provided by foreign companies in China are indeed good, to the point of asking you to leave. The compensation package is N+2+1, where N is 2 months of compensation, and 1 is likely bonuses and subsidies, equivalent to an additional 3 months' salary. Compared to the labor law when calculated this way, it actually isn't much. In the past, to get into a foreign company, let alone compensation, applicants were willing to pay 3 months' salary to get the job. But now, leaving just for 3 months' compensation is obviously not the main reason. So, what is the main reason? In 2020, Honda's sales in China peaked at 1,627,000 units, but then continuously declined for 3 years. From 2021 to 2023, sales were 1,560,000 units, 1,370,000 units, and 1,230,000 units, respectively, with year-on-year decreases of 4%, 12%, and 10%. Recently, Honda China announced that its cumulative terminal car sales in the first 5 months were only 340,000 units, a year-on-year decrease of 17%. Therefore, poor car sales can only lead to continuous production cuts, and production cuts mean that normal production efficiency cannot be achieved, resulting in a waste of resources and labor costs. An internal employee stated that they often face temporary shifts, which means they not only lose overtime pay but also find it difficult to work the normal 8 hours a day, leading to a significant drop in production wages, and sometimes even no work at all. Many people wonder if this situation is caused by the emergence of new energy vehicles. The chairman of Guangxi complained at the Chongqing Auto Forum, saying that only subsidizing new energy vehicles reduces the price-cutting space for traditional car companies, resulting in no survival space, reduced job positions, and tax revenue. Although this statement has a bit of moral blackmail, from the national standpoint and strategy, it is necessary to support independent brands. However, the chairman also made a valid point. He mentioned that 70% of the power system still relies on thermal power generation, so new energy vehicles are not truly green energy. Additionally, current technology cannot solve the soil pollution caused by lithium batteries. From this perspective, the subsidies for new energy car companies are indeed somewhat lacking. Looking back at history, in the 20th century, human labor was replaced by steam engines, increasing production efficiency and expanding the market, leading to economic takeoff. In the 21st century, China joined the WTO, and cheap labor brought technological innovation and industrial upgrading, resulting in continuous economic growth. But what about the future? In fact, whether new energy vehicles are truly new is secondary. As long as they can be sold to other countries, China will have growth, which is what the Chinese decision-makers consider.
国产车已经把合资车挤压的生存空间越来越小了。
Nowadays, domestic cars have squeezed the living space of joint venture cars smaller and smaller. This time, GAC Honda has offered generous compensation to laid-off employees, which is a relief for those employees. But because the compensation is too generous, many employees are eager to be laid off, which is quite puzzling. This reminds me of the recent layoffs at Li Auto. Li Auto has been laying off employees for some time, but without providing compensation. Later, they laid off employees from the core department, the intelligent driving division, causing this business to be unable to continue. The HR had to awkwardly call the laid-off employees and say, "Please come back. Treat these few days as a holiday, but after you return, you need to repay the compensation to the company." This is really absurd. At that time, I was thinking, who are our friends, and who are our enemies? The great entrepreneur Chao Duong once said, employees' wages should not be too high. If they are too high, it would be a disaster for other companies. I find it puzzling. How does treating your employees well affect other companies? If parents treat their children well, let them eat well and dress well, how does it harm other families? What is the purpose of running a business then? The treatment at Tesla's Shanghai Gigafactory, when compared to other Tesla factories worldwide, is the worst, but compared to other domestic automakers, it's already the best. Why? I don't understand. Is it really so difficult to treat our compatriots better? Now I can't even tell who is a friend and who is an enemy. As an ordinary person, is it wrong for me to just want to live a better life? Must we be treated like beasts of burden, beaten and scolded at will? This is truly not very harmful, but highly insulting.
一汽大众在裁员，广汽本田在裁员，理想汽车也在裁员。
FAW Volkswagen, GAC Honda, and Li Auto are all undergoing layoffs, and in fact, many other car companies are doing the same. The question now is, what will these laid-off employees do next? I have noticed that in China, no one really cares about what will happen to these employees' future lives and future jobs. With the rise of new domestic car manufacturers and the resurgence of Chinese automotive brands, does it really have to come at the cost of a generation's jobs, careers, and families? Just like the state-owned enterprise reforms back in the day, are we trading our compatriots' jobs for market opportunities? Many people counter my argument, saying that with the fall of traditional car companies, more emerging car companies are rising. But I have to ask, can BYD take in and accommodate these laid-off employees? Can Xiaomi Auto take them in? Can Avatar or Ceres take them in? If these new companies cannot take in these employees, in the long run, this is a problem. It is a societal issue, or in other words, it is a risk that we will inevitably face in the future.
Facing the large-scale layoffs in the Chinese automotive industry in 2024 has sparked considerable debate among the Chinese population. The current situation in China is reminiscent of the state-owned enterprise reforms of the 1990s when a massive number of workers were laid off. Now, many middle-aged individuals are losing their jobs, albeit under different terminology. FAW Volkswagen calls it personnel optimization, internet companies refer to it as graduating talent into society, and statistical reports label these workers as flexible re-employment personnel. In the 1990s, those who were laid off faced severe hardships because their families had no savings, parents could not provide support, and there was no accumulated wealth in society. Life was very difficult, and family tragedies were common. Nowadays, many people around 30 years old do not understand that period of history. They have not truly worked and can rely on their parents for support or maintain a bystander's attitude, claiming they want to rectify the workplace. In reality, they are the ones being sacrificed, but continue to chant slogans. What kind of environment and upbringing leads such a group of post-1995 and post-2000 young people to naively believe that the complete withdrawal of joint venture, foreign automotive companies from the Chinese market, resulting in employees being laid off, is beneficial to the country? They think that relying on one or two companies that play the sentiment card or so-called patriotic enterprises can achieve a corner overtaking, surpassing the industrial structures of Europe and the United States. They believe the common people can achieve prosperity and live without worries. Such thinking is overly naive. What do you think? Feel free to leave a comment below and join the discussion. That's all for this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. We will continue to provide you with truthful reports as always. Thank you again for watching, and see you in the next video.